If you don't have many friends, it's easy to assume something is wrong with you. Maybe you're awkward, maybe you're boring, maybe you're just unlikable. And when you see other people constantly surrounded by friends, it quietly reinforces that belief. But here's something most people never consider. Having no friends doesn't automatically mean you're unlikable. Sometimes it means you're being misunderstood. And sometimes it means you're sending signals you don't even realize you're sending. When you don't have many friends, your mind looks for the simplest explanation. It must be me. That assumption feels logical. If other people seem socially connected and you don't, the difference must be your personality. So you start comparing. You notice who gets invited, who gets texted first, who seems naturally included. And you quietly measure yourself against them. But comparison is misleading. You're only seeing the visible results of their social life. You don't see the invitations that were ignored, the friendships that faded, the awkward attempts that didn't go anywhere. You're comparing your internal doubts to someone else's public highlights. And over time, that comparison turns into identity. I'm just not someone people connect with. But that belief often forms without real evidence. It forms from observation, not investigation. And once you accept it, you stop questioning it. You stop experimenting. You stop adjusting. You assume the problem is fixed, when in reality, it might just be misunderstood. You might feel friendly inside. You might genuinely want connection. But people don't respond to what you feel. They respond to what they see. A neutral expression can be interpreted as cold. Minimal eye contact can be read as discomfort. Short responses can sound dismissive. Calm, quiet energy can be mistaken for disinterest. Even your body language matters. If your posture is slightly closed, arms folded, shoulders angled away, people subconsciously register distance. None of that means it's accurate, but perception drives behavior. Most people don't slow down to analyze social signals. They make quick judgments. If they sense low openness, they instinctively lower their own effort. They speak less, they share less, they move on faster. Not because they dislike you, but because humans naturally mirror energy. If someone feels welcomed, they lean in. If they feel uncertainty, they step back. Sometimes you're not unlikable, you're just difficult to read. And when people can't read you, they default to caution, which quietly creates distance without anyone intending it. Another reason you might have fewer friends has nothing to do with personality. It has to do with initiation. Friendships rarely grow from one interaction. They grow from repetition, from small follow-ups, from signals that say, "I'd like to continue this," but many people avoid that step. You might have a good conversation and assume the other person will reach out. You might enjoy someone's company, but wait for them to text first. You might tell yourself, if they're interested, they'll make the effort. The problem is, most people think the same way, so nothing happens, and the connection fades, not because it failed, but because it was never reinforced. Initiating feels risky. It exposes interest. It creates the possibility of rejection. So waiting feels safer, but waiting also creates distance. Most adults won't chase. They interpret silence as low interest, and over time, a pattern forms, not of rejection, but of inaction. Sometimes you don't lack friends because you're unlikable. You lack momentum because you never signal continuation. And without momentum, even good connections disappear. There's another possibility that's harder to admit. You may be protecting yourself too well. You don't overshare. You don't reveal much. You keep conversations safe and neutral. You avoid strong opinions. You don't talk much about what excites you, what frustrates you, or what you deeply care about. It feels mature. It feels controlled. But connection requires visibility. People bond through emotional access, through stories, through small vulnerabilities, through shared reactions. If you stay surface level, others have nothing to attach to. They may describe you as nice, or quiet, or hard to read, not because you lack depth, but because you don't display it. And when depth isn't visible, connection doesn't fully form. Being emotionally reserved can protect you from rejection, but it also limits attachment. Sometimes the issue isn't that people don't like you. It's that they don't feel close to you, and closeness requires exposure. Not dramatic exposure, just enough for someone to see you. Without that, you remain present, but distant. There's one more possibility that people rarely consider. You may not be unlikable. You may just be in the wrong environment. Compatibility matters more than personality. You can be thoughtful, intelligent, calm, and still feel disconnected if the culture around you values something different. Some environments reward constant energy. Some reward social dominance. Some revolve around gossip. Some revolve around shared hobbies. If your natural rhythm doesn't match the group's rhythm, you'll always feel slightly out of place. Not rejected, just misaligned. And over time, that misalignment can start to feel personal. You assume it's your character, but often it's context. The same traits that go unnoticed in one environment can be deeply appreciated in another. Reserved becomes steady. Quiet becomes grounded. Selective becomes intentional. Sometimes you don't need to change who you are. You need to change where you are. Because belonging isn't about being accepted everywhere. It's about being understood somewhere. If you have no friends right now, don't rush to label yourself. Loneliness feels personal, but it's often structural. Sometimes it's perception. Sometimes it's hesitation. Sometimes it's emotional protection. Sometimes it's misalignment. Very rarely is it a permanent flaw. Friendship isn't built on being perfect. It's built on visibility, initiation, compatibility, and repetition. Those are skills in environments, not identity. So instead of asking, "What's wrong with me?" ask something better. What small adjustment could change the outcome? Because having fewer friends doesn't automatically mean you're unlikable. It may just mean your strategy or your environment needs refinement, and that's something you can change.